everyone, hideelee here, and welcome to another episode of So I Married a Record Collector. Just want to take a real quick moment and thank everyone who has recently subscribed or commented or liked any of our videos. It's been really nice. I mean, I didn't really have any expectations going into this at all, and to be getting the kind of support that we've been getting from the vinyl community has just been really cool. So thank you so much from both of us. Really, it helps us, I guess, feel like, you know, we're part of the group now. So we really appreciate that. Special thank you to, of course, Steve Carlson, Emma at 8 Vinyl Low, and JT's Record Room for giving us shout outs last week. That was really cool, not expected at all, and just really appreciated. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's really it's nice to see how supportive everybody seems to be of each other. And I know that not every fan community or community in general has perfect people throughout. We're all human, and you know, there's something for everyone. Not every channel that's out there is going to necessarily click with you or the kind of music that you like, or the type of record collecting that you enjoy, but that's what's great about it. There's so much out there and such variety and so many things that you can discover too. So if you're open and just have a good attitude about it, I think that, you know, the vinyl community has really been good to us lately. So just a big thank you to everybody who's been so supportive of us so far. I mean, we're new. When something's new, it's all shiny and exciting and everything, but we plan to do this for a while. We've got a lot of things to get through, and we're still buying records, so as long as there's records around, we will be too. So let's get going on the 10 records from my husband's record collection this week. And we're still in the B's, haven't quite made it to the C's yet, and I don't think we're going to get out of the B's for maybe a video or two longer, but yeah, stick around. All right, up first, we have a cover that kind of looks like they had their picture taken at the photo booth at the Renaissance Fair. This is Bubble Puppy. I have seen this record before. I have seen this cover before, and it always kind of makes me chuckle. Not that there's anything wrong if you're into the Ren Fair thing. That's cool. But this is just their outfits and everything just kind of make me chuckle a little bit. Looks like John bought this at Princeton Record Exchange way back when. And the album is called A Gathering of Promises. That just sounds very kind of Baroque. I know they have a song that I remember. This is on International Artists with a nice teal blue sticker. And I know their song Hot Smoke and Sassafras, that was on a lot of 60s psych comps that I remember taking out of the library early on in my search for music. And I liked it. It's a good song. I can't say much about the rest of the album because I've never listened to it, but yeah, Hot Smoke and Sassafras is a pretty cool tune. Here's the back of a cover, which kind of reminds me of a notebook that a friend of mine and I used to pass between each other in school between classes. So this record's kind of fun looking too.
Here we have Bubble Puppy, A Gathering of Promises, the only band on International Artists that provided the label with their one and only top 40 hit. You all know and love it, Hot Smoke and Sassafras. A song that is so cool, it garnered a British cover version on Pie in '69 by a band called The Mooch, M-O-O-C-H-E. I have on a compilation CD up there. Got this at Princeton Record Exchange, $11.99, the non-removable sticker. Probably the easiest International Artist album maybe to find, I assume, because it was a top 40 hit. Very Cream, Who-like hard rock from Texas. After this album, they signed to ABC and did a record under the name Damien, I believe it is, which I've only seen pictures of. I don't know what it sounds like. What I like about international artists and makes them so attractive and kind of mysterious in the 80s is all this crude artwork for every one of their albums. It's kind of like someone took mescaline and said, I'll draw. They're very crude, kind of like, junior high art class, study hall, goofing off kind of thing. And also, if you dig around on the internet, there's a picture of Bubble Puppy backstage with Parliament Funkadelic in '69. Apparently, they played a show together somewhere. It's in the booklet of one of my Funkadelic CDs. Still in pretty good shape. What is that, like a dark teal blue international artist label? Of course, it's got the hit Hurry Sundown, I think was another single. But 1969 international artist label, Bubble Puppy, A Gathering of Promises.
Up next, we've got an artist that I remember first seeing on the Monkees, of all places. We've got The Best of Tim Buckley. Very singer-songwriter, acoustic. Don't know, I'm not that familiar with his music. I mean, the Song to the Siren is the song that he actually performed on the Monkees show. I know that towards the end of the Monkees TV show, they had idea of maybe turning it into kind of a, I don't want to say like a variety show, but having musical guests on the show. And Tim Buckley was, I believe, Mickey Dolenz's choice for the musical guest. This is on Rhino. And it does have Song of the Siren on here. Let's see. I know that, Davey had Charlie Smalls, the guy who wrote The Wiz, the music for The Wiz. And Mike, of course, had Frank Zappa on. And Peter... Did Peter have anybody on? I don't remember. Gosh, this is terrible. I'm gonna lose cred in the Monkees fandom. But I actually have, and a side note, I actually have a Teen 16 magazine from around that time where it shows the Rascals doing a bit at the end of the Monkees where they are looking at some album cover art with Davey. So... And there's no footage of it anywhere to my knowledge. So it would have been interesting to see the Rascals on the Monkees. But anyway, not really here for that. Here for The Best of Tim Buckley on Rhino. I gotta take some time to listen to this because I know I like a few of his son's songs. Jeff Buckley, of course. So yeah, Tim Buckley.
Here we have The Best of Tim Buckley on Rhino Records. From 1983, probably the earliest collection of his work, because, Rhino Records was the coolest label in the world and would do these different collections. I got this at Tommy's store in Cranford, probably for mere shekels. Tim Buckley, I quite like him, and I sometimes feel like we're supposed to like him, because he's like this, supposed to like him, because like he's, how would you say? Wasn't a very popular artist, but he's connected to the Monkees by having been in the final episode doing Song of the Siren, and he has associations with Zappa through the Discreet label and everything. I like quite a number of his songs. We all know Song to the Siren, like I said. Dolphins, the Fred Neil tune. There's not that much on here. It's a 14-track best of, which is a good place to start. I have a 2 CD set over there, also from Rhino, I believe, an anthology, which may not contain everything on this album. Pictured on the cover, of course, is Buckley, and I believe that's his conga player. In later years, his conga player wrote a book about his time with Tim Buckley, but I'm told he spends more time talking about how many young girls he slept with on the road and his experiences with Buckley. But anyway, Best of Tim Buckley. He was originally on Elektra, then he got involved with Herb Cohen, Zappa's manager, and made records for Discreet. Best of Tim Buckley, Rhino Records, 1982, back in the early glory days of Rhino Records.
Now we've got an album that I think a lot of people really love. Buffalo Springfield. This is, gosh, this is self-titled. I had to look to see. My knowledge of Buffalo Springfield kind of goes with, we're going to start that one over. Up next, we've got Buffalo Springfield, self-titled album. This is probably, I don't know, would you call this a super group? I mean, you've got Neil Young, Stephen Stills, Richie Furay, however you say it, Jim Messina, Bruce Palmer, Dewey Martin, and I mean, wow, what an album. For What It's Worth is on there, the song that, you know, anytime there's like a hippie late 60s thing, they tend to use that as a soundtrack. Trying to see what other songs. Mr. Soul, oh my gosh, what a great song. Bluebird, Expecting to Fly. Now that is a beautiful song. I really Hung Upside Down. So there's, whew, this is a big one. It has the gatefold. Assuming that this is an original. 2 LPs on Atco. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, we do have a receipt here. This one, oh, it's from Izzy's. Bought in October of some year for a grand total of $8.99. So fun. I love finding these.
Buffalo Springfield, self-titled 2 LP collection on Atco from 1973. You would think this would be a bit superfluous to the collection because I have all 3 Springfield albums on CD. But this has the 9-minute version of Bluebird with the guitar duel between Steve Stills and Neil Young on it, which for years was unavailable on CD. And if I'm not mistaken, I haven't done my research, I don't think it's available on disc because Stephen Stills will not allow it to be released. I don't know if that's still true or not because I haven't kept up. I kind of want to get that self-titled Buffalo Springfield box set from several years ago. Our friend Mike Fornatale interviewed him for Shindig or Ugly Things, one of those two. He does work for both of them. And it was a really enjoyable interview. It was just like 2 guys, musicians, chatting. Stills didn't want it released because he says he was inebriated during the recording. That's during the guitar solos, he's making all those grunting noises and stuff. So he doesn't want to ever see it released. But this was an early Izzy's purchase before I was working there. It's a nice collection from all 3 records, a nice gatefold sleeve. And it's one of those things where it may have been made invalid by later, more comprehensive collections, but the way it's laid out, it makes for great listening. Like, for instance, I have a Small Faces CD compilation over there from about 1989, 1990 called The Singles A's and B's. And you know, that stuff's been compiled over and over, but when I want to listen to a good Small Faces comp, I always grab that because it's just laid out perfectly. That's something we can get into later. But still a great collection. The 9-minute Bluebird, Buffalo Springfield, self-titled, kind of best of, 1973, Atco Records.
Don't know anything about this one for sure. This is called Bull Angus. Interesting cover here. Now again, don't know anything about it, so I'm going to try to figure out why John has this. It's a gatefold, sort of, with that little pocket record thing there. Look at the songs real quick. I don't recognize, I don't recognize any of these. Here is the, you can pause it if you want to take a look, but there's the song listing. And the album itself on Mercury. And we do have a receipt in this one too. Oh no, it's not a receipt. It's oh, look at this. I guess you send it in, some kind of a survey, to Mercury Records in Chicago, Illinois. Oh, you can request a catalog. So you've just purchased such and such record, and you can get a catalog of popular music, classical music, or pre-recorded tape. So, yeah, kind of interesting. This has the Mercury sleeve. Take a look at the artists on there.
Here we have Bull Angus on Mercury Records, self-titled. Not sure the year. I was just reading about this recently. It's early 70s, probably 72. They have one more album on Mercury, which I've never seen. I learned of this record through a cool book I have downstairs by a rock critic, journalist, Chuck Eddy, who's a bit of a wise ass, but entertaining to read. It's called Highway to Hell, like the 500 greatest heavy metal records. And his definition of heavy metal is pretty wide and far. But this is in there, and I said, that sounds interesting. Gatefold cover with one of the more annoying innovations in record packaging, the Unipack, the records in here, which if you're a volunteer radio person like us and you're in a rush to get a record on a turntable, this holds you up. Timing is everything when you're making quick segues. But as you can see, a bunch of hairy guys. I don't know where they were from, but interesting story behind this. One of these guys in this band later set himself up for life by writing a very popular song for a very popular movie. He wrote the song, what's it called? I've Had the Time of My Life for Dirty Dancing. One of these guys, I think it's either Dino Palilio or Frankie Prevetti or Ron Piccolo. I know it's an Italian last name because I looked this up on a website recently, so I was curious about it. But yeah, he never has to work anymore. But there's the full front cover. And I remember I got this off of eBay and I was playing it, and on my older turntable, the needle got stuck during a percussion break or something on one of the songs at the end of side one, and I was sitting at my computer. I was like, God damn, these guys are really getting jamming on these chords. And I realized, oh, the needle's stuck because I hadn't cleaned it yet. But there's a track in here called Uncle Dougie's Fun Bus Ride, which Chuck Eddy compared to some kind of magic bus type theme, but I don't remember what it sounds like. And corny, weird early 70s rock titles like No Cream for the Maid or Mother's Favorite Lover, Margaret. What's that about? But anyway, Bull Angus, Mercury Records, probably 71 or 72. And they have one more album, which I've only seen pictures of.
I remember seeing this record when we were moving John's records around and just being like, ooh, that's kind of creepy. This is the Bunny Brains. The album is called Bunny Magic. Not familiar with this group at all. Came out in 1993. Some information there. Kind of funny. I'm guessing maybe some humorous rock of some kind on Blackjack Records. Looks like a handwritten label, and sure it's designed to look that way. I like how this side says maybe play this side second and maybe play this side first. So yeah, don't know what they sound like, but I would normally pass up something with that kind of cover. Yes, I am guilty of judging records by their cover sometimes. Because I mean, it kind of, you know, if you're going to have a cover, most of the time you want it to kind of depict either something about the band or what the band's interested in or people in the band. So yeah, this is definitely not a cover I think that I would be wanting to pursue of what's inside.
Here we have the Bunny Brains with the album called Bunny Magic from 1993. Who are these guys? I guess you call them a punk noise psych ensemble. I first heard them playing live on the mighty WFMU back in the 90s, and they're being interviewed while playing songs. And I can't just describe them as like punk psych noise, but I found them to be very smart ass funny because they would be doing these weird, odd songs of theirs and weird time signatures and everything. And all of a sudden, for no reason at all, they would break out into like the Wipeout riff. Or while they're being interviewed, they would get bored with the interview and suddenly she's playing the Smoke on the Water riff. But they're very, very, very strange and goofy sense of humor. I know there's another Bunny Brains album we're going to get to, but they have clips of some young female college DJ raving about the band on her little college radio station. They stuck it on the end of the album. I don't know if they were mocking her or not. Or I think one of these things they called into like a classic rock station and messed with the DJ that's on here. There's a track on here, I-95 WRKI Classic Schlock. Or just the song titles are funny too. Long Live Freedom, Cover Up the Ghetto with Whiteout. But Bunny Brains, Bunny Magic, 1993 on Blackjack Records out of Oakland. And I believe the band, if I remember from the interview on FMU, they were from Connecticut, possibly Danbury. Anyway, Bunny Brains, Bunny Magic, creepy ass cover.
More Bunny Brains, or the Bunny Brains. Not sure. This is an interesting package for the record. I mean, it's different. Well, it's vinyl. Like reminds me of a Trapper Keeper. A little sticker on there. And, oh, yep, Bunny Brains. Has the album.
Here we have another Bunny Brains record, self-titled. I think this came after Bunny Magic. Found this, I think I found the other, no, I found the other one in Vintage Vinyl. This one I think I found in Princeton, or possibly Vintage Vinyl. Anyway, don't matter where I found it. You want to see the record. Comes in this cool plastic sleeve, like almost like the type of plastic for a Matchbox collector's case or something. Cartoon cover, maybe that's where they got the inspiration. But this is on Matador. They actually got signed to a bigger label and toured with bands like Sebadoh at the time. This is from 95, so yeah, so it's after that one. Again, haven't listened. Oh, I can't show that side. No. I don't know if you saw that on there.
No.
But well, that's again silly song titles. Turn Up Trucker, Faller Offer for a Cardinal, You Come Calling. Hello, Reset the Single Malt. But just crazy psych noise punk. Haven't listened to it, I think, since I bought it, but we'll listen to it soon again. The Bunny Brains from 95 on Matador.
Now we've got the Butterfield Blues Band with In My Own Dream. I've heard of the Paul Butterfield Blues Band before. Not familiar with their sound. Guessing it's blues. And yeah, another one of those gatefold type ones where the record sticks in there. A shot of the band. This record is on Elektra. Kind of like the Elektra logo.
Okay, here we have the Paul Butterfield Blues Band, In My Own Dream, which I believe is their 4th album. I am a huge fan of their first 2 records, especially their second, East West. I had their third, Resurrection of Pig Boy Crabshaw on CD, but I got rid of it because I didn't care for it much, and I much prefer Mike Bloomfield. This, I think, pretty sure I got from Tommy's store for next to nothing. Thought I'd grab it, see what it's like. Again, the irritating Unipack packaging, original Elektra inner sleeve. Don't remember much about it because I haven't listened to it in so long. But Al Cooper, the Blues Project, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, plays organ on 2 songs. Elvin Bishop's still on here. And they have all new drums and bass and keyboards. And they added a horn section.
Drum and bass.
Drum and bass. But kind of like the artwork. Electra always had cool artwork. A great art department. Anyway, In My Own Dream, the Butterfield Blues Band. I'm assuming 1969 on Electra.
Okay, who doesn't know this group and this album? This is the Byrds with Mr. Tambourine Man. Very common record, I'm assuming, but a very good record, of course, with the classic Byrds lineup. Photo on the back. Has the hits, of course, Mr. Tambourine Mr. Tambourine Man, I'll Feel a Whole Lot Better, Bells of Rimini, All I Really Want to Do. So, yeah, very well-known album, of course. This one has that sleeve with the other album covers on it. Capital. It's mono. You know how I know that? Because on here it says mono. And it's funny because John can just be like, oh, I mean, it looks at a record for 2 seconds. It's like, oh, it's stereo. Oh, it's mono. And I know that. Oh, the number on the whatever is... It's just... See, it's that level of knowledge that I think it's something that we can all aspire to, right? In the vinyl community, of being able to just be like, oh yeah, this means it's mono. I don't need somebody to just slap it on there and say mono. I just know that it is. So anyway, here's the Byrds, Mr. Tambourine Man.
Here we have a classic everybody knows and loves, the Byrds, with their debut album from '65, Mr. Tambourine Man on Columbia, a mono copy. I know I got this up here somewhere. I don't recall where. I don't think it was Goodwill. I think it came out of, like, I mentioned in an earlier video about my station manager sending me to some community center outreach program, whatever, that had a room full of records and they were getting rid of them and said, you can come and have what you want for $0.25 a piece. I may have gotten it from that, but I don't remember. But you all know and love it, Mr. Tambourine Man, their debut album, with the famous picture of them on stage at Ciro's with Bob Dylan on stage with them. Mr. Tambourine Man, we all know and love it. But great songs like I'll Feel a Whole Lot Better, Here Without You. Of course, anything Gene Clark touches is gold, pretty much. Like I said, mono copy on Columbia, incorrect inner sleeve from a Capitol record. Everybody seems to go nuts for the label style. That's what makes a difference. The 2i Columbia, don't make too much of a difference for me. I was never a big Byrds fan for a long time. I knew the hit singles on classic rock radio or oldies radio, but as you've seen from our musical taste, I preferred much louder, fuzzier, crunchier, in-your-face guitar, drums and stuff. Like we said before in a previous video, you grow, your taste mature, but I owe it to my friend Tommy, who owned Off the Record in Cranford, who was a huge Byrds fan. Some of my online buddies always talking about the Byrds, made me buy more of their stuff, and I very much like them now. And it was sad that they couldn't keep a consistent lineup. Towards the end, it was just Roger McGuinn and whoever was going to be tagging along up until 1972. But nice to have an original mono copy. I haven't really listened closely to what the differences are. I don't do that much anymore. That's just a real glaring difference. Anyway, the Byrds, Mr. Tambourine Man, Columbia Records, 1965. A nice, decent mono copy for your listening enjoyment.
Continuing on now with more Byrds. Here's another common Byrds album with the classic lineup again with Turn, Turn, Turn. It has, of course, the big hit, the title track. Times They Are Changin'. I don't know the order of the Byrds albums, so John will definitely let us know about that. Again, and for some reason this is in plastic, and I hate that because it's kind of hard to get them back out of the sleeve. But it's stereo, because it says stereo. But it's on the Columbia red label. Probably an original, I think. I could be totally wrong. But wherever he got it for $3.50. Guessing an antique mall. Look at these guys. Look at their hair. I wish I could get my hair to look like that.
Here we have the Byrds and their second album on Columbia, Turn, 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 which I believe is also in 1965. I can live without ever hearing the title track again. It's on the radio, oldies radio, 100 times a day, anywhere you go. But this has some of my favorite Byrd songs in here, especially It Won't Be Wrong and Gene Clark tunes like Set You Free This Time, Wait and See. And of course, they always ended their albums. It was like I guess they were trying to do make it a habit of ending their albums with a folk song that was kind of a goofy send-up. So this one they do Oh Susanna. Doesn't have an original inner sleeve. It's got this annoying plastic. You gotta make sure to put it back in right. Columbia, the two eyes again. I like how I have the extended CD of this when they're doing the Byrds catalog, and in the booklet they have outtakes from this session. And they make it, it's nice blue cover. They're all standing in front of like this big blue wall, and there's all outtakes which are positioned differently, and you can see past the wall and the frame. Kind of ruins the illusion because you have this album for so long and sit looking at it daydreaming, and your reality is broken. But liner notes by Derek Taylor, of course, who later worked for the Beatles. Not much more I can say. You all know and love it. The Byrds, Turn, 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 Columbia Records, 1965.
Finishing up with our set of 10, we have another Byrds record, probably my favorite of the Byrds. This is Younger Than Yesterday. This has probably my favorite Byrds song on it, Why. I love Why. Other good tracks, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. Have You Seen Her Face? That's another favorite of mine. My Back Pages. Lots of good ones on here. I think I like this one the best. And Stereo, of course. Don't know about this sleeve, but it does say MCA on it, but the record's Columbia, so I'm guessing it was a mismatch.
Here we have what is probably my favorite Byrds record. Just encapsulates the band, I think, perfectly. Younger Than Yesterday from 1967. Some of you might scream blasphemy, but I put the Monkees' headquarters right up with this album. I think the two of them complement each other really well as like folk rock records with a country tinge. This is not an original. It's on the later Columbia label from like, I guess, the 70s, but it's got the wrong inner sleeve for MCA. A lot of my favorite songs are on here. Of course, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, which was covered incredibly well by The Move live at the Marquee. I was something weird watching all these Final Community videos. I haven't seen anybody show or mention The Move yet. It just hasn't come up. We'll get to it when we get to the M's, but I don't want to ruin any surprises. Tons of great songs in here that we love. Have You Seen Her Face? The Girl With No Name. Why? Which was big with a lot of British bands. Tomorrow did it. The Pretty Things would do it in concert. Renaissance Fair, The Pretty Things covered. And it's quoted by Eric Burdon, The Animals in Monterey. It's just, I think that maybe I'm dreaming. That's from Renaissance Fair. Time Between. But also, it has Mind Gardens. If you know what I'm talking about, that's the track on a classic album. You skip over David Crosby. But one of my favorite Byrds album, one of my favorite albums of the 60s. Just, Los Angeles, Laurel Canyon. Also, Buffalo Springfield compares favorably to this. Let's put them all in the same batch. So anyway, the Byrds, Younger Than Yesterday, 1967. This is a later reissue on the later Columbia label. Get a better shot of that. I don't know. Those are moving about.
Okay, that was the set of 10 for this week. We are getting closer to being through with the B's, moving on to the C's, of course, if you know your alphabet, right? And they go by so fast, especially when I don't have a whole lot to say about them because I either don't know them or I could probably just say whatever you might already know about them. So pretty sure that John will have some things to say that's a lot more interesting than I do. So my portion of it gets recorded pretty fast. So anyway, thanks again for all your support. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you like about these records or what you don't like about these records or just some general thoughts, wanderings, that kind of thing. we are going to be probably doing another video soon with our latest purchases, because we did go record shopping a couple of times, and I just went today, and yeah, my credit card is just on fire. So we'll be happy to share what we recently picked up soon in another video. And we will also, I'll try to make sure to link below of some of the channels that we've been really enjoying. And again, if you have a channel, let us know. We'd love to see your channel. We're new to this community, so school us in what you've got out there. And otherwise, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye. And Mr. Oliver here wanted to make a little appearance. Say hi, buddy. You say hi? Say hi. This is Oliver Cat. If you haven't met him yet, he is a bit camera shy. He's good taking photographs, but I think the light might be freaking him out a little bit. But he's my 3-year-old big boy, black kitty. But he's a character like all cats. So I wish he would. We're thinking of maybe putting a table next to us and seeing if he'll jump up and so he's getting ready to bite me. So or maybe not. He sees John over there. John's his favorite person. So this is Ollie or Oliver. If you've ever watched Green Acres, you know Oliver Douglas on the show. He wasn't named after Oliver Douglas on Green Acres, but I do find myself walking around the house calling him and going, Oliver! Oliver! See, look how happy he is. He's like, put me down, Mom. You're making me nuts. So, it's okay, buddy.